We're just waiting for Taryn. In the meantime, have my coffee. Just watching myself right now.
Do you have any more of those like moisture return? The notes and return.
Oh, they're in that box below it.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, there's so many.
Yeah.
Alright, Grandma uses pasta.
See? Winner right there. I'm sure he's proud of you. Hello?
Hi, I'm in.
Hi.
Took a little while.
How are
How's
you?
it going? I'm good. How are you?
That's okay. I have no idea how to work this thing, so it just happened. Hang on, I'm just finishing one email, and then I'm all yours. It actually works pretty well, I must say.
Yeah, I use this a lot for like my grown-up job stuff.
So you do another job as well?
Yeah, I'm a sales rep for like outdoor apparel and Osprey backpacks, icebreaker stuff. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, maybe I'm gonna try and like air this again so that anybody can benefit from whatever questions you ask or whatever else. So maybe give like a short blurb about your brand and kind of, because it has a cool story behind it. So I feel like it's a nice thing to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been doing Briwok for about probably 3 years now.
Okay.
More seriously, the past 1.5, I'd say. And I started Briwok just as I started just kind of like crafting, I guess. I wouldn't even call it crafting. My friend Bree, who passed away while we were in college, used to make feather earrings all the time. And when I came back to Canada after college, I saw that all the girls were wearing them now. It's kind of like a little bit late, as Canada can be. But yeah, so I just knew how to make them. So I started making them for my friends when I was working at Lululemon. So there's like so many girls that wanted them.
I cannot escape Lululemon to save my life. I've worked there twice.
Really?
Yeah. I swear, all of the new people I meet, it's like, yeah, I worked for Lululemon. I'm like, join the club.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's how it started. And then I don't know, I guess I just kind of got it in my head that that's what I was going to do. And I just grew it from there. And I had a lot of people tell me that it was just a craft or it's just a hobby and blah, blah, blah. But the more that people said that, the more I was like, nope, this is what's going to happen. So now I'm in a place where I have a couple local retailers.
Okay.
But I really my goal right now is to grow that number and then also grow my online sales. But right now, everything's being handmade by me. And I'm sourcing my materials from like a few different suppliers, mostly from the US.
Mostly in the US? Okay.
Yeah.
Is shipping you to get it there?
Pardon?
Is shipping killing you to get it there?
Yeah, the shipping can suck, but it's mostly the dollar. Like,
oh yeah, because the Canadian dollar is less right now. That's right.
Like it's starting. Are
there no
bit, but
companies that do that kind of stuff, or no one that's doing it on that scale?
There's some local ones that I used to go to, just like mom and pop, like hole in the wall jewelry places.
They probably don't let you buy wholesale.
No, and I just find the prices are a lot more, and it's hard to say if that product's going to be in when I go in a month, you know, or if you take the whole roll in order to get another roll. It's really difficult. There may be in like Toronto. I'm sure there is in Toronto. It's just Toronto's basically like the same as New York for me, right? It's so far away. And then Vancouver, there's got to be something in Vancouver too. It's just I'm doing it all by just like searching the web. I have a couple fashion designer friends in Vancouver that I've asked for their help or like their opinion, and even they say, you know, like it's easier to go if you're going price wise, go to China, or availability, go to the US kind of thing. So that's just kind of the way it's been going, and I've just especially because there's so many local designers here, jewelry designers, I want to make sure that I'm getting unique materials. So that's why I don't want to. If everyone's going to the market, yeah, it all just ends up looking the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you feel like, just out of curiosity, what are the stores that you have? Like, what are they kind of resonating with your brand? Just so you know, like, where to focus your energy, because obviously you want to push that further, you know?
Do you mean like what styles, or what do you mean?
What elements are you doing that maybe since there are so many in Canada, what are they not doing that you're doing?
I think the biggest difference with mine and say some of the other local designers is I've geared mine to, like, I've started to look big picture as of like 2 years ago. So I'm trying to create like cohesive collections as opposed to just crafting up 10 of these, or 5 of those.
Yeah.
Because I
Okay,
want to
so
be
you're-
in a position in the
Go
future
along.
where I can sell by collection and season and that kind of thing, you know? And so everything.
So smart at the beginning, and I like had to really bust it out in order to make like a full collection. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, the places the only other vendor I would add to your list is, do you go to Metalliferous at all in New York? They have an online thing.
Metalliferous? No.
Yeah, I can send you an email spelling, but they have an
that'd be
awesome
awesome.
amount of chain, base metals, you know, like my canister necklace. That's where I get like the canister from.
Cool.
And when I used to live on the East Coast, I travel there, and they have like just a good base metal pieces. It's like grande. And I don't know how Canada works, but you can do like, make sure they have your wholesale information and stuff like that. Because for California, we have to have like a resale wholesale license in order to not get. Yeah. And I know with Rio too that if you order enough with them, you can do the Rio Pro, which is what I do, and get like their special discounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for you, like for your stuff, because you do like rings and stuff, right? Or like your.
Yeah, so I know we talked about rings.
And like your evil eye one, or like it's like your eye with the. When you design something like that, where do you get it? Do you send it to like? Do you do what's it called, like 3D designing on the computer?
I do.
Okay,
Yeah,
and so
the CAD.
Yeah, sorry, you're going in and out a little bit.
I said the CAD 3D printing.
Yeah, so you do that?
Yeah. I do that for all my fine jewelry and for all my custom pieces, not for the plated stuff though.
Oh. So
I do still make it in LA, but it's carved, and then they put it in a mold. All of it's made out of recycled pewter. So it's that big black mold that they spin that has like a bunch of pieces in it. That's the one that I use for it.
Okay. And so how were you able to find, like obviously pewter's a great material, and the fact that it's recycled is like even better, right? Like,
right.
So how do, because I was really trying to find like, not necessarily pewter, but a recycled metals manufacturer. How did you find the manufacturer that you work with?
So honestly, it was through school. I went to FITM for jewelry school, and they connect. The place is called 1928. It's in Burbank. I don't know if they're taking you.
That's where. Remember how I told you I went to? I was sourcing manufacturers in LA, but was like too overwhelmed. It was 1928. That's so funny.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's where the stuff is made. But I also know some good places to look at. Like obviously, we have an amazing jewelry district, but somewhere that might have really good prices that is a little more untapped would be Providence, Rhode Island. And I know they do a lot of the same thing that they do here in LA. And if you're shipping, it doesn't really matter, you know, and Providence might actually have like better prices.
Mm-hmm. Is that East Coast?
It is. It's East Coast.
The reason I was like more drawn. Sorry?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
The reason I was looking more LA is just because if I have to go down there, then it's like just like a quick flight, right? Like it's a one stop from Calgary. But that's good information. Yep. Do you feel like, because so many like sort of costume jewelry brands are made in LA, do you feel like you run the risk of things starting to look like each other if it's made at the same manufacturer?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. So a lot of manufacturers will have like a catalog of parts that they own the model to, where like they've designed it and like that's their part, and you can use that part. And it's frankly cheaper for me to use that part than make my own. But you also have the opportunity to make your own part, and then you own that part, and no one else can use it at the manufacturer. So there's a little bit of both. You could, because it is really expensive to be constantly making your own molds. So I try to do as much of that as like I can, but I can't do all of it.
So would you do that more specifically to sort of like a statement pendant or something that it needs to
like
be
the evil eye is my own casting. The evil eye is my own casting. The chakra necklace is my own casting. A lot of like the bigger pieces, like the big triangle pieces with all the stones, these are all mine. So for big statement pieces I do, but like for like little baubles and ends, if you can find a casting on that board, just use that, you know? It's much better. I didn't, because I've worked actually with the people in Providence as well. When I lived in Boston, I did like a one-off collection with a fashion designer, and I don't know if they had boards as well. So it'd be something to inquire about. But I remember they do like the 3D printing, and so you could make your own castings as well.
Okay. And then, when did you like what minimum orders wise, like when did you feel like you needed to start? Did you start making like your own stuff, like how I do, like everything is the stuff that you make, or like?
Somewhat. I did my own soldering, so I was able to make like rings and cuffs because I worked in a studio in the arts district of LA, and I was able to like work with fire and do my own tumbling and that kind of stuff. And then I was just taking it downtown to plate it. And then once that got too much, because I was like getting early onset arthritis from trying to like form every single stupid cup, which I'm sure is happening to you with all the damn jump rings, like all of those tools. So once I kind of got to like where orders were like around 5 to 10 pieces per store, that's when I had to make the jump into like minimum. And frankly, to be honest with you, my minimums are higher than I can move very quickly. So right now I'm probably drowning in inventory. And I think my intern back there would agree that we're totally drowning in inventory. So it's like I'm personally in this like awkward period where it's too much to make myself, and I can't with half those castings, but I'm also not moving like 300 units. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because a lot of those places, the minimum orders are like 300 pieces per style.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking.
So many.
So many units.
That's why I was like, when I was there, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. And I think 1928 just pushed theirs to 400. So it's like even going more now.
So tough. But if you wanted to have like, because I guess the hardest thing for me to make, and the thing that would round out my collection the most and what I get asked for the most is rings. Just because like I've made rings before, like this little guy right here. But
oh cool, that's beautiful.
There's no way, like this took me like 8 hours, you know, and it's like not even clean or anything. So there's no way.
Like,
it's just,
I love it, but I can't sell it.
There will never be
like
another
one. Jewelry.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think after your email, I was trying to think of like innovative ways you could still do rings, but without maybe having to commit to like some crazy amount of inventory across the board. Because honestly, like my piece of having inventory now and like working with manufacturer, my advice is to like hold on to doing it yourself as long as you can, because it's
Really?
so much better because you can control the timeline, you can control your cash flow easier. Like once I've got inventory, I've got it. So I've got to figure out a way to sell it. Whereas if like Urban orders 50 pieces from you, you know, you can stay up and crank those 50 pieces. You don't have to own 400 and only sell 100, you know? So I would look on like, I guess I don't know what style of rings you want to design, but there are some, I mean, you can get the bands and all that kind of stuff. Do you plate your stuff, or is it mainly it's all silver and brass, right?
Yeah, it's just how I buy it.
Yeah. Okay. Look at Metalliferous and look at because they have like cuffs and they have rings, and maybe like your next challenge is how do you add to those pieces and embellish on those pieces before you try to like commit to 400 units in a manufacturer and like all that hoopla, you know?
Right, okay.
If you're like so in between, you know?
Totally.
Because
that's really good advice.
Yeah.
I think
obviously if you.
I think my biggest struggle has just been how to make sure that it's still unique and it's not just like, oh, you bought these things and put it together. Yeah. But then also I don't want it to look too crafty, you know? Like I want it to look like
I mean, when I looked at your stuff doesn't look crafty, I must say. Like I used to work for Vanessa Mooney and we all did stuff by hand. Like half of her stuff is made by hand. And I would say your stuff looks, you know, comparable to that, because otherwise you do get crafty, like half open jump rings, and it doesn't have the same finish. But I don't think it looks crafty right now at all.
It's good to hear. Okay.
You're like, thank you so much. It's always nice to feel that.
Yeah. Especially when it comes from someone other than like my friend who's like, no, Tara, it's good. I'm like, ugh.
Like, Mom?
Yeah, thanks. You have to tell me that. What are my other questions?
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess,
I mean, maybe.
Sorry, you went out again. What were you gonna say?
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say maybe another way to do it is find some like unique stores that you could buy like parts from, or even, you know, like Roxy. No, sorry, my dog is wanting to bark at like everybody walking by my house right now. Find some like unique parts that you could make, like a limited edition 20 pieces. So other people's don't look like yours, but you can offer that to stores and be like, hey, I've got this limited edition 20 pieces. Once it's gone, that's all it is. And that set you apart, but at the same time, keep under your control.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's hard because I don't know totally what stores are up there, but I mean, there's got to be some interesting things like that. Even if you go on Etsy and like buy stock of like somebody else's cool baubles that they made, you know, and that's a part that you have that they don't have near you.
Right. Yeah, I do actually buy some stuff off Etsy. And then would you say, at what point did you start working with a showroom?
I started working with a showroom shortly after I started doing manufacturing, mainly because I'm really terrible at sales. And I got into like a fair amount of stores, but I realized once I was doing, you know, all those units, I needed to get orders and like increase those orders so dramatically. So I met with, I think Boutique, so Boutique's the one that I'm in. I think that Boutique's the only one I met with, just because I wanted a accessory specific showroom instead of being with clothing.
What was your reasoning for that?
Because I've seen, like, I have a few friends that do jewelry, and I've seen them have showrooms where they're with clothing, and a lot of times you end up like at the way back. Where with all accessories, people are coming to that showroom to shop accessories. They're not shopping clothes. They're like, oh, yeah, I guess I like that too. You know?
Really smart. What would you say is an average like order for a retailer down there? Like what kind of
right
do they book?
Right now, I don't have a minimum. I know a lot of designers that have like an order minimum, but I wanted to get my name out there and just kind of like move stuff, so I don't. Yeah. So it can be anywhere. I'd say the average is probably like $350 wholesale.
Okay, that's kind of like what I'm getting here. Just so I know because the stores that I deal with up here are like, I live just in the mountains, so it's like little. They're even more like snowboard ski shops, but they're my buds. So, and that's really all that we have, right? Like there's no fashion stores where I am, and even if they are, they're kind of like, meh. But that
you're
like,
still ordering on.
Yeah, I still shop online. So I guess I was just kind of wondering if what I'm seeing with the orders there is what I could expect trying to get into the US. So just so I know, inventory wise, like if I can keep up. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many little stores, and I think that's right now what my business is. Like, obviously I'm in Free People and Nordstrom's and that kind of stuff, but I feel like majority of my business is smaller stores with like $350 orders and that kind of stuff. That's what comes through most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you use any kind of like inventory management systems or like online ordering systems or anything like that?
You mean for wholesale?
Mm-hmm.
So not for wholesale. The way that my showroom submits orders is just like, I don't think I have any right here, but it's just like a piece of paper with like written on there.
Oh, okay.
But I use Stitch Labs for inventory. And I was just talking like with some business managers I've been meeting with, and they kind of agreed there's no really, really good inventory software out there. But Stitch Labs is kind of like the most user-friendly, especially for creatives. It has like pretty colors and stuff. It makes it more manageable.
So funny.
So I know a lot of people that are using that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are my other questions? This is so enlightening. I feel like I have so many answers right at my fingertips right now. I literally know nobody else who does this, so.
Yeah, me either. That's why I kind of started making the video, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. There's got to be other people that don't know what they're doing either that I could at least chat with, or like do something with.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then when you were before you used a showroom, to get into stores, were you just like calling, emailing? Or what was your best? Did you ever go to trade shows on your own or anything like that?
It's so expensive. Like $5,000 just for a little booth. Yeah. I never did that. But I did do the other stuff. And do you have like a PDF version of your line sheet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then I just sent like PDF version of my line sheet, contacted stores. A lot of times I would try to like gift people too, especially if they're local stores, or like, if you have a way to print your line sheet not $500 to like print a few of them, is sent them one of those, sent them like a little gift and mailed it to them. Kind of makes you stand out, because even my friend, like I've got a girlfriend who manages a boutique in Denver, and it's not, it's really nice, but it's not like a crazy boutique. It's like I get hundreds of emails a day of line sheet. Like, so you, like, how do you stand out in that?
Right. That's so interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I was surprised that like even their store got like inundated with line sheets, because like everyone's doing jewelry. Who isn't doing jewelry?
So true. Okay. What would you say is like the most or your biggest like achievement so far, or like the thing that felt the best? Was it like getting into Free People or seeing it on someone, or what would you say is like the thing that you were most stoked on?
The thing I'm most stoked on is probably having an intern. Alex, I'm giving you a shout out. Because it kind of means that I have enough work that I need help with. To me, it was like the coolest thing. Just getting into like Free People and Nordstrom's is amazing and definitely something to be celebrated. But I'm not very good at like waiting and celebrating. I'm like, okay, next thing, go, go, go. Yeah, like, yay, okay, let's go. And so to me, that's probably the more exciting thing.
That's awesome.
She's going yay in the background.
Just so excited. I don't know if I have any more questions for you.
That's totally fine. I'm just glad that you felt like this like helped at all. So
it was so funny, I have to tell you. So I was like, my boyfriend says I'm very resilient just because I'm like, no, just got to keep working at it. Got to keep it. Because I was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just Googling like Revolve buyers or whatever. She's like, always trying like everything I do is somehow related to Briwok. And I saw your YouTube videos and I was just like laying in bed watching them. And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, this chick makes jewelry, like showing what she does, blah, blah. And then I told him, I was like, I'm going to be on that YouTube channel. And he's just like, you're such a nerd. I'm like, super fan.
I don't think I told my husband that I'm doing this today.
Just like, you're so weird.
I'm a vlogger. He's like, I don't even know what that is. I was like, neither. No, yeah, I'm gonna try and like I've been trying to like eat or like interview some of my other friends I know that are like creatives working for themselves, because sometimes they have like interesting ways. Because honestly, to keep yourself going every day is the most annoying part. Like getting up and being like, oh my god, how am I gonna get to tomorrow? So I've been trying to like reach out to see how they get to tomorrow, basically.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah. If you ever have any suggestions or whatever, just write me and I'll try and figure out a way to put it on there.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
So good talking to you, like so helpful. And it's nice and it's like really refreshing that you're like so open and helpful and not like secretive or I don't know, hiding all like the secret spots they shop.
It's too tricky. Like, what's the point of doing that? I'd rather you learn from the stupid shit I did.
Awesome. And I do enough stupid things in my own.
At least some good. Let me know if you have more questions, and other than that, good luck.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Stay in touch.
Sure. So I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye.